Last incident. My name is Jonathan Cox, Deputy Chief and Information Officer on the incident. As always, if you could mute your cell phones and take any conversations outside the area, as well as keep your masks on and adhere to social distancing rules. We will have a Spanish language version of this press conference immediately after the English language version. Additionally, we will have an opportunity for any questions and answers with the people who are up here. With that, just a quick update. The incident as of this morning is in unified command between 8 agencies across 2 counties, both Napa and Sonoma County. We are one of 23 large fires, major fires burning across the state right now. And across the state this year, since August 15th, we have hit almost the 4 million mark as far as acres burned across the state. Currently on the glass fire here in Napa and Sonoma County, the fire is 60,148 acres. We remain at 6% containment. There are red flag conditions out there that expire tomorrow morning, and we will have more information about that. Currently, we have over 2,500 firefighters assigned to this incident on 24-hour shifts. That does include 22 helicopters as well. With that, I'll hand it over to CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3 Operations Section Chief Mark Brunton for an operations update.
Good morning. So the fire has been split into 2 zones. We have an eastern zone, which encompasses predominantly Napa County, western zone, predominantly Sonoma County. Due to some operational needs and due to the complexities in the far part of the eastern zone, we brought in the western part of Napa County under the western zone. Just for our overall management of the incident and supervision. So moving at the eastern zone, we have had some fire impinging upon the outskirts of city of Calistoga. Due to topography and so forth, it's been very difficult for us to place good direct control lines in there. So we've had to go structure by structure, prepping those structures and preparing and extinguishing fire as we can in that area. There was one structure this morning that was damaged by the fire, but not fully destroyed. So we are continuing to work heavily in that area. Working up around on the Division Hotel side, fire did impact and crossed up to Highway 29. It has not crossed over Highway 29. You're still using it as a control point. It's just below the grade, and we are continuing to monitor that and staff that. Again, it's in an area that is very steep, very difficult to work in, heavy vegetation and so forth. So again, that's been a challenge for us, along with Division Hotel. Again, chunking away, large fire front, and again, area very difficult and tough to work in. Moving into Juliet, that has a threat to the community of Angwin. We are continuing to work diligently to put in control lines, do structured defense in that area. Have a lot of resources within that area. And then moving down into November, same kind of thing. The valley floor, Highway 29 corridor still is intact. We have a lot of the industry in there populated and working within that area. So we have that, we're being doubly vigilant as their safety, as well as monitoring the fire effects, mainly because of the weather we're expecting. We're in a red flag warning, and basically that's the point where we're seeing a northwest push of wind. It fortunately has not subsided any velocity, but does exist. But again, more so the very hot temperatures, very dry conditions, and our fuels are extremely receptive to any ignition source whatsoever. So it's at a very high percentage for that, and so it won't take much for any ignition source to get any of the vegetation, whether it's the light vegetation or the very heavy vegetation burning. On the south part, moving towards Oakville and the Division Uniform area, we have some control lines going direct onto the fire there. We're continuing to work into that direction. We have a contingency line that's being constructed along the ridge top and taking advantage of the topography there. We're taking advantage of some of the control lines from the 2017 fire that we're very well aware of, and that we're starting to utilize those to give us a secondary containment line and go in as direct as we can, and that we're diligently working in that area. Moving across the county line, Division Kilo, we did a burn operation a couple days ago. That line is in there. The line is holding due to the winds not being as intense as we were expecting originally. It's given us time to get in there, mop that up, take out a lot of the hot spots, and give us a better level of protection for the communities of Kenwood and then eventually Glen Ellen. Highway 12 corridor looking really good along that. Continued aggressive mop up and patrol. Annandale State Park, that's holding in there very well. We also have resources staged and ready in case that decides to get up in any hotspots blow over our line. So we're all prepared and in good shape regarding that. Into the city of Santa Rosa, looking very good. Continuum MAPA patrol and a presence there. Moving up Calistoga Road and eventually to Petrified Forest Road. Fire has not crossed on the other side of that. Holding that, maintaining that. Continuum MAPA patrol. We have good control lines up through into the county line into Napa County, and seeing a lot of success in that area, which has given us a good level of protection and making us more comfortable. Overall, the weather conditions are such that with the hot and dry weather, one of the positive things with some of the wind flow, especially in that part of the fire, it's opened up a greater window of opportunity for us to fly, and we've been able to fly aircraft into that area. We have a mobile retardant base in Angwin that allows our helicopters to dip that retardant, the same stuff that's used on the fixed wing aircraft, to help us check up the spread of the fire. It doesn't completely extinguish it, but gives us a great opportunity to slow the fire's advance so we can get their boots on the ground and take care of that issue. In the Sonoma County area, unfortunately, the conditions, the weather conditions and the visibility is such that we cannot fly any aircraft effectively or safely. So fortunately, we haven't had much of a need. So it's fortunate that that if there were bad air conditions, it's in the area that we don't have the greatest need, but where we do have the greatest need, we are flying aircraft in the small windows of opportunity, the most we can and the best we can.
Speaking next from the city of Santa Rosa is Police Chief Ray Navarro.
Good morning. So first of all, I want to thank the public for heeding the emergency evacuation orders and warnings that are currently in place right now. And I want to thank our mutual aid who are officers who are coming from San Francisco Police Department and San Francisco Sheriff's Department, helping us keep the areas safe. We continue to have good news regarding the law enforcement front. We have had no looting arrests or burglary incidents at all within the city of Santa Rosa. We are continuing to have people trying to enter the area, and so we ask that you continue to stay away from the evacuation areas, as our officers have a specific mission to keep people out, to keep the community safe, and also our public safety that are in those areas. It is still dangerous, and we will be addressing unlawful activity in those areas. That includes some of the activity that we're having to address right now are people trying to remove barricades, people driving in, and people walking into these areas. And every time we do, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's very important to understand that it takes away our resources from some of the other things that we have to do, not only in the burn areas, but also throughout the city. It's entirely understandable that that people want to get back to their homes, and we are working diligently right now with the rest of the people that you see on this platform to do what we can, and we are working to get that done as quickly and as efficiently and as safely as possible. We're asking you to remain patient for just a little while longer while our teams continue to assess the dangers in these particular areas. Once it is safe to do so, we will provide notification to residents on any type of efforts of repopulation through our social media accounts. Currently, there is no change to the mandatory orders. We still have 12,925 community members under evacuation order and 22,631 community members under the warning. You can continue to find updated information at srcity.org/evac updates. Thank you very much.
Next from the city of Santa Rosa Fire Department is Fire Chief Tony Gosner.
Hello everyone, Tony Gosner, Santa Rosa Fire Department. I'm going to be brief because Brunton did a great job explaining the fire, but Santa Rosa is looking real good, including Annandale Park. There really is no concern. We got a lot of crews up there mopping up, and we're just making sure that it holds. So that is all looking really, really good. 2 points I want to hit. One is, if you don't live in the area, please don't come over to take a look. While we have a ton of equipment, heavy equipment, fire engines and everything else that are constantly going back and forth to camp, and just creates extra drive time for all of us, and it's just not safe for you to be over there. So please, if you don't live over there, please don't come over to take a look. We just keep the area clear for us. If you do live over there and you don't need to be out and about, please don't be out and about. We got one more day of red flag weather to get through. It ends in the morning. That doesn't mean the threat is over. It just means that the winds are gone and the humidities are coming back up, which is all good. But if you don't have to be in the way, please don't be in the way. And I want to thank everyone for, I kind of sound harsh, but the reality is we need the access to get in there. I want to thank everyone for listening to us. We know it's tough out there, but we're doing the best we can to get you back as safe and as quick as we can. If you need to find out any of the latest information on the glass fire, you can go to srcity.org /glassfire, and any additional updates for fire-related information is available on Facebook at Santa Rosa FD and Instagram at Twitter at Santa Rosa Fire. Thank you.
Next from the Sonoma Sheriff's Office is Sheriff Mark Essick.
Good morning. I have a relatively brief update for you as well. Our staffing remains relatively the same at the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office. We have 36 regular deputies on duty every day, patrolling, doing normal patrol, and they're being supplemented with an additional 50 deputies. So we are fielding 86 deputies per day currently to patrol areas, including evacuation zones, to keep property and homes safe while folks are evacuated. With the red flag warning through Saturday, it is possible that more evacuations could be coming. We realize that creates a lot of anxiety and stress for people, but one of the best ways you can deal with that anxiety and stress is to be prepared. As we've talked about numerous times before, that includes making sure you have fuel in your car, making sure that your personal papers, belongings, and pets are prepared to go, and that you have a plan. Secondly, you can also check on your neighbors and make sure that they are doing the same things that you're doing. Yesterday I had a brief opportunity to tour part of the burn area with the utility crew. One of the things that I noticed that I wanted to make sure the public understands and why we are so adamant about staying out of evacuation zones is there's a considerable number of trees down where tree crews were working to try to clear roads, power lines down, telephone lines down, and I was really amazed by the amount of heat that continues to radiate out of some areas that look as though they are not burning, but there's a tremendous amount of heat still coming out of those areas. So please give those folks a chance to get in there and do those cleanups, make infrastructure repairs so that when it is time to get back to your homes and your properties to check on them, that you can do so safely. We understand that this is stressful, and we ask for your continued patience, and we thank you for your patience and trust in us as we try to work through this. You can follow the Sheriff's Office on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for updates, and also you can look at evacuation mapping at socoemergency.org. Thank you very much.
Speaking next from the California Highway Patrol is Captain Aristotle Wolf.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aristotle Wolf. I'm your local CHP commander here in Sonoma County. The CHP continues to support its law enforcement and firefighting and emergency services partners with mostly traffic control points throughout Sonoma and Napa counties. To reiterate what Sheriff Essick said, it's absolutely imperative that you understand that these points are there for a reason. Even if it's not in a burn scar area, there are reasons these places are closed. If it is in a burn scar area, it's most likely extremely dangerous to try to enter. People have been very understanding about that, and we really appreciate it. But we're going into the weekend where different folks have different travel plans, and these are normally at routes that are very popular to travel on the weekends. They're simply not available. Highway 29, much of it is closed in Napa, along with the Silverado Trail. Highway 12, Arnold Drive, Calistoga Road, much of it's closed. Those are places that you may think you can travel normally. It's just not a good weekend for it, so please keep that in mind. Thank you for your support, and we'll talk soon.
Next from the CAL FIRE Sonoma Lake Napa unit is Unit Chief Shauna Jones.
morning. First off, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. A lot of information is being shared here today, and I have a bit more. Damage inspections were reported today at 30% of the land has been covered doing these inspections. We're at 558 destroyed structures and 108 damaged structures. CAL FIRE, when we have incidents such as this, we order what we call our DINS teams. They're damage inspection teams. They are CAL FIRE teams that have specialized training and use specialized software and then ground truth areas of impact inside the perimeter of the fire and along the edge of the threatened areas. They determine whether the structure has been damaged or destroyed, and this serves two purposes. First off, the data that we collect is given to our counties and cities in order for them to start the recovery process. Secondly, we collect data that allows us to determine the type of structure, the type of building materials, the type of roofing, all of the materials for building that structure, what that was, so that we, as a department, the State Fire Marshal and CAL FIRE can both work together to better serve and provide expectations for building materials for future. Right now, the fire, as I mentioned, is 30% that they move through 30% of the land to do these damage assessments. It's a large fire, and you know that. I know it's had an impact on all of you, and we're doing as fast as we can to get those damage inspection information out so that you can find out what the status of your home is, in addition to putting the fire out and getting you home as quickly as possible. I'd like to say that we have a long way to go. This fire is only 6% contained. It's 60,000 acres plus. So I'm asking for your patience. We all are. I want you to please continue to monitor your alert and warning systems. We still have some fire weather. We still have a lot of active fire. You need to really have your heads up and really pay attention. I ask for you to take a look at readyforwildfire.org. Not only is that for preparing you to leave, but also there's information in there when you actually get to come home. So please take a look at that. And my heart is with all of you, all the evacuees. I want to say thank you very much to all those that are supporting in the field, not just the folks behind me, but all the folks that are not listed in our unified command. Those are supporting our evacuees. I greatly appreciate it.
Our final speaker this morning, CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3 Incident Commander Billy C.
Good morning. Obviously, the glass incident is a complex incident. It's impacted, as far as fire damage, 2 different counties, 3 different cities, multiple communities have been impacted. Damage destroyed, and damaged structures, with population that's been evacuated, several road closures, including road closures in Lake County, so that adds a 3rd county to this. This has been a unified team effort, one mission, one fight for this entire incident. We work collectively. As we progress through this wind event, the team has plans made and prepared to surge force resources in case we have any fire that wants to escape our current containment lines. As the days come, we anticipate better weather conditions as related to fire conditions out on the line. We're looking forward to decreased winds, decreased temperatures, increased humidities, which will give our firefighters and our boots on the ground a fighting chance to gain additional perimeter control and start to bring some normalcy back to these impacted areas and get people back home where they belong. Thank you.
We're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Chief Jones, the 30% coverage, was that all software or surveillance? Was some of that ground work as well?
So just the question was related to the 30%. Was it just the software or was it ground as well?
So the damage inspection teams have covered 30% of the entire area of our fire. So that is ground truth, field, in the field.
And would that then be primarily the area that burned first?
So they were concentrating in the Oakmont area of Sonoma and the Angwin Deer Park area is where their first look has been. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so specifically, what are the evacuation number of evacuees by county? And we can get you that after the press conference, absolutely.
Sorry, this going. Can someone kind of talk about which areas we think might be first to return, which ones are likely to last, and what sort of factors into that?
Yeah, so the question was related to what might be the areas that are first repopulated and last, and I'd hand that over to the IMT.
Obviously, that's a good question, but it's difficult to answer, especially with the predicted winds. Anytime we look at repopulation, as far as fire side, when we start making recommendations, that's just based on the fire danger has been mitigated. Obviously, there's numerous utility companies, EOC concerns that have to develop their make safe reentry programs, along with buy-in from all the different cooperators, and then obviously the last sign-off and final jurisdictional responsibility falls on the local law enforcement having the jurisdictional responsibility. None of us take evacuations lightly. We want people to get home as soon as possible to get back to normal. So as soon as we can make it safe, work with all our cooperators to get people home, we will do so. And that is a top priority for all my team members, as well as all these agencies we're working together with.
I was curious, after the wind event maybe is behind us, are there any areas that might be likely to come back that are kind of held in check right now, just because of this wind event, or primarily associated?
So the question was related to after this wind event is concluded in relation to evacuations, areas that are likely to be repopulated after this wind event is. Sure.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think this is hard to hear again. Can anyone walk us through what the meteorologists are telling you now about sort of not hour by hour necessarily, but what we're anticipating from now until tomorrow in terms of when we're going to see the wind issues peak, whether there's been a change in terms of the elevation of the wind?
Just specifics about weather over the next 24 plus hours, and Chief Brunton would be the best for that.
So on all of our vegetation fires that we have, incident management team assigned, we have also an incident meteorologist assigned directly to that incident, and they're highly qualified, highly trained individuals, not only as meteorologists, but also in particular with regards to fire and how that meteorology and fire science mixes. So on this one, again, we have our meteorologists. We work hand in hand with them. In fact, in our operations trailer, they sit side by side with us. So we use them as a valuable resource. And every day our troops are briefed directly from the mouth of that incident meteorologist. And throughout the day, throughout the hours and the minutes, literally, even before he walks in to give a briefing, he's checking the latest and greatest based on the science. So with the red flag warning, not only is it that individual that makes the decision, but it's a group of meteorologists in that geographic area. So in this particular area, they consult with a variety of the National Weather Service offices. This one is the Monterey office, and they also consult even with the Sacramento office and the Eureka office. So that way they have a really good brain trust of those folks to look at the conditions forecasted, current, and expected. So in this particular case, there's a consensus that a red flag warning was warranted due to the hot temperatures, dry conditions, and the expectation of some winds. The winds, it's really tricky to kind of really predict, but there was a consensus among the group
that there would be some increase in velocity of the winds, the direction of the wind being from the northwest. And so with all that combined, we look at it and build our strategy and tactics and expected weather. And so we've done that so far. And like any type of meteorology, even though it's a bit of a science, it is a practice of an art. And so it's not always 100% accurate. But our meteorologist does keep us in tune anytime there are changes. So far, we have not seen the velocity of the winds that we were expecting. We have seen the flow of the wind coming from the right direction that has been predicted. We are expecting that the wind will increase this evening more than we've been seeing lately, but not a significant increase. And again, the topography drives that. We're in valley areas, so they're like funnels, and they will funnel the wind direction. We have high peaks such as Mount St. Helena, Veeder Mountains, Mount Sonoma, those kind of areas. And we have monitoring stations throughout that helps the meteorologist to determine his forecast. So at some of the peaks up in, say, Mount St. Helena, that's where we're going to see our heavier winds. About 20 miles per hour is what we're expecting. Also in the valleys, the Napa Valley in particular, Sonoma Valley, we're expecting to see some higher wind gusts, 15 miles per hour. So nothing that's going to be a high sustained velocity, but there will be gusts, and that does have an effect on the fire. As I said earlier, we have what's called a probability of ignition metric that looks at basically how dry the fuels are. Fuels are extremely dry. We do have hot embers and hot areas that are out there, and it won't take much to take that and blow it into a very dry receptive fuel bed. And with that, that gives us pause for concern. So although this is pretty much what we would say right on an edge or a border of a red flag warning, it's we go for the conservative, cautious look, and that's why we are in this and why we plan accordingly. So as far as what the winds we're going to be seeing, this evening we'll see some more of the winds. It'll increase a little bit more this afternoon, and then we'll die off. And by about 6 tomorrow morning, we should be ending the red flag warning and or any sort of fire weather watch, but it will continue to be warm and dry. And then proceeding forward through the rest of the weekend, moving into next week, we will see a little bit more of an onshore flow, which means a little bit increase in our relative humidity, decrease in our temperatures, which will be helpful for us in our control efforts. But again, it will not change the vegetation dryness, and it'll still be critically dry and a concern for us, but definitely it'll be at a slightly elevated fire conditions that we're experiencing right now as we speak. There'll be a slight onshore starting late in the weekend, early next week, but nothing super significant regarding wind velocity, but it will bring some more humid air mass.
All right, everyone up here is available for one-on-one questions after the conclusion of this press conference. I'd like to transition now to the Spanish language version and invite up our speakers.
Hola, muy buenos días. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Me llamo Antonio Negrete, soy uno de los voceros asignado aquí al incendio Glass. Estos son los últimos números de hoy, el 2 de octubre. Para el tamaño del incendio, estamos en 60,000 acres con 148. El porcentaje de contenimiento ha subido a 6% y totalmente los bomberos asignados aquí al incendio Glass, 2,517. Tenemos 22 helicópteros asignados al incendio que ya han tirado casi 4,000 galones de agua sobre el incendio, y aviones que han tirado 80,000 galones de la pasta colorada que se usan para extinguir el incendio. Ya les quiero presentar a mis compañeros de los varios departamentos de oficial aquí en la área. La primera persona que le quiero presentar es Juan Valencia, sargento con el departamento de sheriff aquí en el condado de Sonoma.
Buenos días, Sargento Juan Valencia, el portavoz del departamento del sheriff del condado de Sonoma. Les quiero decir que es otro día. Todavía seguimos con 50 oficiales patrullando las áreas de evacuación para que su propiedad esté segura. Ahorita tenemos una advertencia de aire, una bandera roja. La cosa es que el viento va a venir y va a soplar al sureste. Lo que significa eso es que a lo mejor vamos a poner más más áreas que tenemos que evacuar o debajo de advertencia. ¿Cómo se pueden proteger? La ansiedad y el estrés se puede reducir preparando. ¿Cómo se preparan? Tener bolsas listas con mascarillas, medicina y objetos de valor. Carguen sus teléfonos y pon el volumen alto para que si mandamos un nexo o una notificación de emergencia, agarren el mensaje. La sirena alta y baja, si oyen eso, es tiempo de irse porque el peligro ya viene. Ayer fui con el alguacil Mark Essick y patrullamos la área de St. Helena Road. La cosa es que a lo mejor no se mira el incendio, pero la cosa es que la área se quemó. El incendio pegó duro. Tenemos líneas de electricidad bajas, árboles que todavía se están quemando y se están cayendo al suelo. Miramos que PG&E y el Departamento de Carreteras están trabajando duro y muchas horas para que la área esté segura, para que regresen a sus hogares. Queremos que los síganos en Facebook, Twitter y Instagram para toda la información. Y también les quiero decir que las áreas donde tenemos la patrulla de caminos o los lugares donde pegó el incendio, no queremos que vayan allí. No queremos turismo de desastre. Lo que estoy diciendo es que no queremos, si no tienen negocio en esa área, no queremos que vayan allí a tomar fotos de casas o cosas que se quemaron. La cosa es que personas perdieron casas, tenemos que darles esa paz. Y les quiero también decir que se cuiden a ustedes y a sus familiares. Gracias.
Ya les presento a Edward Buenostro, oficial del Departamento de Policía aquí en Santa Rosa.
Quiero empezar agradeciendo a la mayoría de los integrantes de nuestra comunidad que han seguido las órdenes de evacuación y han permanecido fuera de las áreas evacuadas. También quiero agradecer a nuestras agencias de ayuda mutual por su apoyo para mantener nuestras zonas evacuadas seguras. Anoche, en la ciudad de Santa Rosa, no hubo robos ni saqueos en las zonas evacuadas. Sin embargo, seguimos encontrando individuos, en su mayoría residentes, que intentan entrar ilegalmente a las zonas de evacuación obligatoria. Recuerden que las órdenes de evacuación significan que es ilegal entrar en estas zonas. No muevan las barricadas, no caminen o suban a las zonas evacuadas y por favor no exija que le dejen entrar en las zonas evacuadas a nuestros oficiales. Ellos están haciendo su trabajo y están intentando ayudar a mantenerlos a salvo. Es totalmente entendible que los miembros de la comunidad quieran volver a sus casas y estamos trabajando para que eso suceda más rápido, eficiente y seguro posible. Les pedimos que tengan paciencia por un tiempo más, mientras nuestro equipo de seguridad pública completa las evacuaciones necesarias y otros detalles para asegurar que su regreso a casa sea seguro. No hay cambios en las órdenes de evacuación o advertencias existentes en Santa Rosa en este momento. La última información de evacuación con una mapa detallada y una herramienta de búsqueda de domicilio está disponible en srcity.org/evac updates. No hay cambios en el número de residentes evacuados. Esos números son para la ciudad de Santa Rosa: 12,925 residentes bajo la orden de evacuación y 22,631 residentes bajo aviso de evacuación. Una vez que sea seguro hacer cualquier cambio en esas órdenes de evacuación, la ciudad notificaría a los residentes usando Nexo y nuestras cuentas de medios, redes sociales. Por favor, asegúrese de estar inscrito para recibir alertas de Nexo enviando un mensaje de texto con su código postal al 888777. Gracias por su tiempo.
Ya de la patrulla de caminos les presento a Custodio López.
Buenos días, soy su oficial Custodio López con la Patrulla de Caminos de California. Les queremos informar a todos que tenemos a todos nuestros oficiales que todavía están trabajando la carretera, que todavía están respondiendo a todas sus llamadas, y tenemos a varios oficiales que vienen de todo del área de la bahía para venir y asistir aquí a nuestros compañeros del alguacil, del departamento local, de estar bloqueando las carreteras donde sabemos que ocurrió el incendio y pasó, y en el cual ellos están protegiendo a sus hogares. Algo que vamos a estar repitiendo cada uno de nosotros: por favor, no entre a estas áreas. Los troques, si usted mira, de los bomberos están grandes. En las áreas que se han quemado solamente son de un sentido. Ellos no están esperando de que haya gente caminando, de que haya gente en sus vehículos y ahora podamos causar, porque ya no es un accidente, sino es un choque porque entraron en un área donde no deberían haber entrado. Ahora con eso ya nos llega el fin de semana. Hay varias carreteras, varias venas que están cerradas. Hay que decir aquí en el área del condado de Sonoma, es el Calistoga Road, la parte de la 12 Arnold Drive, en la parte de Napa, la 29 y Silverado Trail, que están cerradas. Por favor, planifiquen, asegúrense, y por favor, ya que nos llegó el fin de semana, no vayan a andar en estas áreas a tratar de ir y agarrar videos, fotos. Por favor, hay que respetar la privacidad de estas personas que han perdido sus hogares. Muchas personas que no saben si sí las han perdido y no quieren enterarse con una foto que alguien vaya a poner en Facebook. Gracias.
Y luego ya les presento a Guerrero López, bombero de la ciudad de Santa Rosa.
Hola, mi nombre es Guerrero López, bombero con la ciudad de Santa Rosa. Les quería decir que la área toda la ciudad se ve muy bien en el lado de Santa Rosa. La área de Annandale se ve muy bien. Tenemos muchos camiones y patrullas en esa área. Todavía tenemos todos nuestros bomberos protegiendo la ciudad o trabajando en la quemazón. Y como dijeron aquí los oficiales, por favor no entren a la ciudad si no tienen razón por qué estar aquí. Necesitamos todas las carreteras abiertas para meter los camiones. Y también les quería recordar que la advertencia bandera roja seguirá hasta mañana a las 6 de la mañana. Y eso es más para las áreas donde hay montañas aquí en el norte de la bahía y en la área de esta quemazón Glass. Y últimamente les quería recordar de nuestra página de internet srcity.org/glassfire para más información. Nuestro Facebook es @SantaRosaFD y nuestro Instagram y Twitter es @SantaRosaFire. Y también otra página que les quiero enseñar es readyforfire.org. Ahí tienen información de qué hacer antes y después de un incendio. Y últimamente les quería decir gracias por su apoyo durante este tiempo duro.
Gracias, ese es el tiempo ya. Si ustedes tienen preguntas que podemos contestar para ustedes. Si no, entonces nos podemos juntar aquí a la mano izquierda o la mano derecha de ustedes. También les quiero pedir, si ustedes quieren más noticias, nos pueden seguir en el Facebook y el Twitter, Cal Fire LNU. Ese es Cal Fire LNU. Muchísimas gracias.